Hey, it's Mark, back with another vid. I just came out and took a ride with the car. Came to the park to do some exercises. They got a little station over there where you can do pull-ups and stuff, and dips and push-ups and all that. You can get pretty creative if you put your mind to it. Get a nice workout in. No gym involved, no people around watching you, that kind of thing. If you like being by yourself anyway. You don't like crowds. I'm not a crowd person. Anyway, they just had Mustang week. I wasn't able to go. I gotta work. But yeah, even like with vacation time and all that, I would never like waste my vacation time on something like that. I know some people, for the younger people, that stuff is fun, but for me, it's just a pain in the ass. Traveling out of state, all that stuff. It's just way too much going on. It's way too extra for me. You know what I mean? People doing burnouts everywhere. People ruining it for other people. I mean, some people say they had a great time, and then other people say it was like the worst Mustang week ever. So, I don't know. I'd like to get out there one of these days, but right now, I'm more focused on work, getting money right, getting everything straightened out financially, and then doing some stuff with the house too. But anyway, I don't know why I bring this car out here, because it ends up so dusty. People come in here and they do it like a little donut in the middle of the place, and it stirs up a whirlwind of dust, and I think they do it on purpose, I swear to God. But anyway, I'm gonna try and set this inside the car. Hopefully this picks me up inside here. I like to do an inside run. I wanted to do one earlier this morning when the car was cool. Hold on, I'll be right there. I got up early this morning, and I'm off today. And it was really, excuse my hand, it was really nice this morning. It was like, it was still like below 50s. It's like low 60s, something like that. Would have been a perfect morning to do, a couple hard pulls. But I went through town. I had to run errands. Hold on.
Decades, the mafia had New York City in a strangle.
I had to run some errands this morning, so I ended up passing like the same town cop in my local town, like 3 different times. And he had this look on his face like the 3rd time that, like, the next time he sees me, he's pulling me over type of thing. So, I don't know. I didn't even go out that way. I had to go through a little piece of my town to get out to the next town over where the park is. I hope this doesn't bounce around. But, anyway, now, I'm going to find another day where I can get like a Mexico Road to do some pulls. I'm going to do a couple hard pulls, 1, 2, 3 shifts. Get them on video somehow. But right now I'm putting the air conditioning on. It's like 100 out here today. Yeah, so there won't be no hard pulls right now. But what I want to like touch on again is the weighted shifter ball that I got. I'm loving this thing, man. But now that I've like driven the car, had it in the car for like 2 weeks now, I swear to God, between this and the Steeda Body mount bracket, it was the best thing I ever did. The shifts are lower. It feels almost like a short throw, close to a short throw shifter. It dropped it at least a ½ inch. It definitely did. Because this shifter ball, the top of the post, if I go any lower, I'll crack it. I know I will. Like, it's right there. So I ended up dropping like a ½ inch from where the other shifter ball was. And the stock shifter ball, that was almost a full inch drop. Oh God, this is bouncing around. It was almost a full inch drop on compared to the stock shifter ball. So yeah, that was a big improvement. The throws feel really good now. I'm not even getting on it. I just wanted to get up ahead of this car a little bit that I pulled out in front of. Yeah, so I'm loving it. I'm digging it. It's been great so far. It's a nice little fix. I do recommend, if you got like high mileage above 20,000 miles on your car, you get the BG Synchro Shift 2 and put that in your transmission. It's supposed to smooth the MT82 out and help with the synchros a little bit. Yeah, it's supposed to smooth that out, help it get in gear a little bit easier, a little bit better. It's supposed to help with some of the lockout. The lockout comes from being on the rev limiter too hard. That's where it's coming from. Like, okay, the 2018s rev out to 7,500 stock. Most of the time, if they're automatics, they're shifting at 73, 7,400. The cars don't like going into the red. Like, they just don't like going too far in the red when they're stocked. Once they're tuned, you can get to 77, 8,000 once they're tuned. But, you know, you have to have the brake work done. Everything has to be set up properly. But the stock 15 to 17s are pretty much similar to the Gen 1s. This is a Gen 2, obviously. But they're similar, but not similar. This is a totally different crank, totally different pistons, totally different rods. So it's a beefed up version of the Gen 1 motor. That's why I like the Gen 2. And it doesn't have the DI and all the BS that comes with having a Gen 3. That's 16 injectors. It helps, I guess, I don't know. If you don't want to buy injectors, I guess it helps. They can turn up the, you know, you got a little more fuel. They do have pressure sensors on the fuel rails on the 18s and up, and the new 24s too. But I was told a long time ago by a lot of people online, the Gen 2 was the one to go with, so that's the one I got. It's only 8 injectors. If I want to turn this up, all I gotta do is get like a, what do you call it? GT500 injectors, GT500 fuel pump. I can get all 4 performance parts and get this car up to about 750 wheel if I want to. But I'm really only aiming for like 680, 700 wheel. I don't want to have to do a transmission if I don't have to. You know, the more power you make, the more the money, you know, snowballs. So just, that's what I'm paying attention to. Like, I've been wanting to buy a cold air intake box, but they're all like $800-900. That's almost $1,000 that I can set aside, save, put towards the Whipple. Same thing with you know, other parts, like, you know, there's a lot of little stupid mods that I like want to do, but there's no sense in doing it until you make the power, you know? So it's better to just save, set the money aside. Like, I was looking at a GT350 intake and a throttle body and all that, like the level 3-4 performance kit for my car. That's $3,000. I'd rather take that $3,000, set it aside, put it towards my Whipple kit or my Magnuson or whatever I'm planning on going with. You know what I mean? So, God, this video is probably going to come out big because I'm watching this phone bounce all over the place. But, yeah, like, I'd rather take the money for all the little dumb, you know, modifications, because the money adds up, definitely. I know if I do a stage 1 Whipple, I can get close to 700 wheel, still keep my MT82. I'll have to change the clutch out, obviously, but I'll still be able to keep my trans. As long as I keep some clean BG Synchro Shift 2 in it, and the right clutch, I'll be fine with the stock trans. And if you're worried about lockout, you get your car tuned right and you set your rev limiter to a different spot, because that's why you're getting locked out. People will go too deep into the red. They'll go try and aim for like 7,700 instead of aiming for 7,500. Or if you got like a Gen 2 like mine, your red line's at 68, hard 7,000 red line. So as soon as you go past 7,000, you're running the risk of getting locked out of gear. That's where that comes from. It's just an ECU thing, basically. It's not it's a combination of the car trying to protect itself and the MT82. it's a good enough transmission, and shame on Ford for doing that. Their Mustang GTs, every single one of them should have gotten a Tremec, just like the Mach, just like the GT350s. They all should have came with Tremecs from the door. Yeah, from the door. For a car that costs 55 grand new from the dealer, the new 24s, they're like 55, 60. You ain't getting out the door for less than 60K unless you're some kind of YouTuber with a bunch of followers, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, I went with the S550. It just seemed the most reasonable. I found very low mileage one, garage kept, paint brand new, still smells like it came off the showroom floor. I'm still blown away by how lucky I got with this thing. I mean, it rips too. Like, I've already torn up a few cars that I thought were going to beat me bad, and no. Especially from digs and 20 rolls. Stock on stock, nah. This car's light, man. It's only like 3,600 pounds compared to some of these behemoths out there that are like 4,000, 4,200 pounds. So it kind of balances itself out. You have the Scat Packs, which are like 480. This is about 450 to the crank. They're 480, and they're like 600 more pounds. So it kind of all balances out, And then with the Camaro SS's, they're like 450. They're a little more torquey than the Mustangs, so they get the jump. They can get the jump on you from a dig, but it's more displacement. That's why, But these will rev out a lot further. You'll end up getting them on the top end, back end in them. So, and then like I said before, man, once you go blower, you throw a blower on these cars, any car, whether it's one of the SS or one of the Hemis, I mean, they just move out, That's the trick. You gotta throw some boost at them, make the right modifications to keep the car saved, so you ain't blowing up your car. And then, that's the trick. But on that note, I'm gonna end it there. Like I said, I'm gonna get out one day and get some Mexico pulls in for you guys. But today wasn't the day, man. Like I said, I'm not trying to get a ticket, man. I just can't do it. Insurance is just, my insurance company's dying to find an excuse to bump me back up again. But anyway, you guys take care. Have a nice day.